Hi everybody, Nige back here again, and I've got another inbox review today. And today we're going to be looking at Rye Field Models Sd.Kfz 234/3 Schwerer Panzerspähwagen. Okay, this has a metal barrel and some resin parts in there, so spare wheel and fire extinguisher, 3D printed parts. So I did a review on the Puma long back, so this is going to be a very similar sort of vehicle to that. So what we'll do, we'll crack on and we'll get it looked at. So starting with the instructions, a nice depiction of the box art just there, and what I like is you've got that on the back as well. So we'll start off with the sprue map before we then move on to the hull and the axles and the suspension. As you can see just there, we have little parts showing where to cut off and what it should look like once completed. We then add that to the main hull, so this was like sort of like a lower hull. Then we add that to the main hull. We've got a strengthening bar that joins the two halves together. Before then we have some more strengthening bars going onto the side of the hull. We then move on to putting some of what looks like part of the drive train in there and some of the actual controls before we put some of the rounds in the vehicle with a plate and some more boxes. See the rounds just there. We then have put in the seat, the control column, so the steering wheel column just in like so. Some more boxes at the back. We have what looks like a platform of a seat. This I would assume would be for firing the main weapon. And again, we've got some bulkhead strengthening bars going on. We get an engine with this vehicle, so the engine is getting built up just there. More work on the engine before it gets put into the rear deck, and you can see where it goes. We've got a 3D printed part that's there. The main wheel. So the main wheel, this is a 3D printed part that goes onto the rear of the vehicle. So that's your spare wheel. We've got some where we have the hatches open and closed with the viewing port on both sides. The upper hull getting built just there before we then move on to putting the louvers and the hatches on the rear engine deck. I don't know what this is for putting all the photo etch on. So on one of the side skirts by the looks of it. So you put the boxes in, then you've got your photo etch that goes in. Before then that gets attached with the upper hull onto the main vehicle. We've then got some jerry cans and your tools going in. The 3D printed fire extinguisher going on the outside, jerry cans going on the front, and then we had all the tools, the rear view mirrors and stuff like that. If I can get the next page open. Again, some more jerry cans. We've got the exhaust going on, and then we've got the main gun with the metal barrel and the mantlet and all that sort of stuff. Some more parts going on to the main gun, like so, building it all up nicely. Before then, we've got it's not a turret as such, it's just which protects the people that are firing the main gun. There it is. So the sides of this like turret, we have the machine gun going on there. So there we are. We've got the turret type part going into the vehicle or onto the vehicle, and then we've got a antenna going on. Before then, we look what looks like another accessory going on with some more jerry cans and another look at the main gun, or the last parts of the main gun, should I say. And there we have our markings. So 20 Panzer Division, autumn 1944, Normandy, summer 1944, and Normandy, France, summer 1944. So they're the 3 markings. So moving straight on to the parts, we'll have a look at the tyres first. There's 2 different types, so we'll just get one out and then we'll have a look at that one. So you can see some nice detail on there. We've got Continental on both sides of the tyres, some nice tread on there. Some people like rubber. I'm not a big fan because I find it difficult for paint to adhere to it. So the next one's a bit more chunkier tyres, and again we have the details on the sidewalls just there. So that's the 2 rubber tyres. Put them over there in a minute. We've got our 3D printed parts, so we'll have a look at these first. So we've got the spare tyre. Now, considering those tyres that we've just looked at had sidewall, and this is 3D printed parts, so it's meant to have more detail, there's no manufacturer on that one. And then we've got these 5-inch, where one's come a little bit loose, so I'll have to be careful with that one. So I'm not going to try and take that out. But a nice touch nonetheless. Put them back in there. And I'm not going to get this out, but we have a metal barrel for the 7.5 gun. Yep, 7.5 centimetre main armament, just there. Clear parts, I'm not going to get these out because we being a camp, there's not really much to write home about. We've clear parts. We move on to some of the jerry cans. So the first plastic through. So we've got the jerry cans there. Now I ain't got my magnifiers on, so I can't see what the writing says on there, but I'm assuming it would say petrol or water in German. Okay, so that's a nice touch. Again, on this tank here, again we've got some embossed writing. That's a nice touch. Next part is we have some of the side parts. We've got the aerial. We have that jointing part just there that sits on the inside of the vehicle, so like a strengthening plate that goes from the hull up to the upper hull. Some side parts here, some nice nut detail on there, and we've got a grid or a deck plate of some sort with some nice it'll either be non-slip texture or that'll be like a grill of some sort. We then have the main lower hull. Well, the main and the other part of the hull. So we've got the lower part of the hull, and again, so it's got some nice nut detail in those parts there for the main axles. And then we've got the upper hull, sorry, the lower hull just here, which this bit goes on something like that. Okay, so it's lower hull, so some nice hatches, some rivet detail, some plate line or panel line detail on there. So we've got some louvers, some grills on this one, the main tunnel for the drive shaft, some of the machine gun, which is drilled out, which is nice, and some the tools for this vehicle. Again, it all looks really nice. We've got the instrument panel. Again, that should take a nice wash and be really good with a dry brush. We have parts of the engine and the engine deck, some hatches, some hubs just there, another small machine gun on there as well, and the radios. All really nicely done. Where it needs to be, like on this part here, really fine connection points, so you shouldn't have really any trouble disconnecting it. We've got exhaust just there, and again they are hollowed out, which is nice. Might potentially look at taking it a little bit deeper, but other than that, really nice. Next one, there's two in this bag, so I'll just get one out. This has got wheel hubs and the suspension and the leaf springs. So we've got our 4 hubs on here for the actual vehicle. We've got the hubs that go onto the hull. We have our leaf springs just here, and again we can see some lovely detail on the hubs just there. Again, a nice wash, picking out those nuts will really make them stand out. Some nice fine detail all round as well. Some more parts of the suspension, a seat just there, and some strapping for the jerry cans. So in this one we've got some more plates. So we've got some more plates going on here. We have that either seat or that platform where they can stand. We have our ammo just here, our shells. The side skirts, again, some nice nut and panel line detail for the hinges as well for these compartments. So again, with a wash or whatever, that should really make it stand out. Some of the radio compartments. Nothing really on the flip side. And then we are on to our last sprue. So we have our upper hull and some more of the side skirts. So you have got the 2 side skirts. So you've got the side skirts with the normal hatches, or the other one that you can put on the photo etch. The engine here that you can see, some fans, some more parts of the engine actually over here. Again, that engine it should build up to look quite nice with a wash and some dry brushing. It should really pop, and you'll have to build it up, because if you have a look at the back, these louvers, okay, at the back, you're going to be able to see into that engine, so you're going to have to really do something with it. But we've got some nice detail on the hull, on the plates, some rivets, and obviously we're going to have all the parts that get attached to these side skirts. That just leaves the photo etch, which I'm not going to get out, on the decals. Photo etch, nice and thin. All the hatches that you can see there. We have more strapping for the jerry cans. We've got the aerials just there. So that's Rye Field Model's Panzerwagen. Okay, looks really nice. I really like how they should potentially turn out. It'd be quite cool to see this on a diorama with the people, the crew clambering all over it and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, really nice subject, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.